Hi guys, welcome to episode 1 of Yushatak Teaches Minecraft Architecture. I am in a little hut thing that I just built. It's very simple. Follows the guidelines that I showed you guys in episode 0. It does not have a proper floor, but that's because this literally was going to be a temporary shack, so I will be replacing that. The reason I built here is there is a ravine here which goes to the stronghold and an underground mine, because the stronghold and underground mine on this map cross over. And over here I marked the way down to an underground ravine where I'm currently exploring. So I figured it'd be good to have a shack so I could drop off my gajillion things like my 15 diamonds and all that crap. Fortune pick is good. I gathered maybe 8 diamonds worth and got 15 out of it, so that's pretty nice. Alright, so here's the idea. I was thinking about this, and I decided I'm going to expand this in both directions and backwards toward this mountain. And then I was thinking, perhaps I will do this on the video. And give you guys an idea of how to expand your house and or how to build a medium-sized house. So, of course, all the concepts from before apply, but I am not going to be limiting my materials because, unlike the last one, this is not a starter house sort of thing. Next thing is I'm going to measure how far it is from the mountain, not the dirt part, the stone part, which is here, to my house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, not including the wall. So we've got 6 blocks to work with, and I want it to be thin, so I guess we'll do 4 on each side of this, which means that we're going to be making it 6, and this thing is 4 wide, I believe, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It will be a 12 by 6 expansion to the house, and it will be compartmentalized into 3 parts. And this will turn into an entrance hall. So, I'm going to follow the same sort of style that I was doing here, at least for part of it. Expand out 4. And we're going to need to do some landscaping here, but I will mark out what we're doing here first. 2, 3, 4. Okay. We're going to need to cut this waterfall off. We'll probably put it back later, but for now, we do not want water screwing with us. So I'm going to do that. Alright. 3, 4, 5, 6. In my opinion, it's very important to keep things square in Minecraft because everything is made out of squares. Now that means that if you were to make something that looks circular, it will probably end up looking kind of crappy. That's not always the case. Every once in a while somebody who's really good at it can pull it off, but I don't even bother trying. Okay, so I want the back part to be a little bit taller, so I think we'll make it 2 blocks higher, which means that's got to go. Now, one thing that this lesson is kind of covering is proportions. Now, that is also pretty important, but not when you're making a small house. When you make a big house, there are other considerations, and proportions is one of them. You'll note that the original hut here is pretty tall. It is 4 tall ceiling and 5 tall walls. Now that means that in order to expand this, like, that's already an awkward dimension. But if the house is going to be bigger, then that's not awkward at all. So if we expand this, this had to be like a certain width. I didn't want to make it too much bigger than the front part, so I made it 3 times as wide, whereas you might be inclined to make it like 5 times as wide or 4 times as wide or some other such thing. If you want to keep everything symmetrical, which you don't have to do 100% of the time with bigger houses, then you could have made it, say, 4 wide and then put another section over here. If the entrance is offset, then as long as you keep the interior symmetrical and elegantly place things on the outside, you can get away with no symmetry or a lack of symmetry on certain axes. Alright, so enough shattering. Let us return to this. Got there. Lines up with this. Okay, so that's how tall it is. And gotta dig to here. You'll notice that I'm not clearing the entire mountain, but I am clearing a chunk exactly where the house will sit. The reason for that is I don't want it to look artificial. I want to make it look like they built this into the mountain, because I'm going to continue the house into the mountain after the exterior part. And I'm leaving bits that would contact the sides of the walls because it'll make the house look like it's inset. And that's a pretty important aesthetic part of this, so take note of that. If you are building into a mountain, you should try to keep part of the house inset to make it look good. Alright, so now I'm going to finish these walls. I'm thinking I might add a detail to this house involving log pillars to add some additional contrast to the house and make it look sturdier and more castle-y or fort-like, kind of a Nordic castle feel. Nordic castles, at least that I've seen in games and movies and such, tend to have a large part of them made of wood instead of stone, like European castles did, or most European castles, because Nordic regions are in Europe, at least most of them are. Anyway, the wooden castle thing is pretty cool, so if I were to add columns around and inset into this building that are made of logs, and then I have this wood stripe, it would kind of add a somewhat Nordic feel to the building. Now the roof is going to transition here because this is all half blocks, so I'm going to do something special here. But the rest of this, I'm going to raise the wall to the level that we planned from before, and we might discover that we need to add more detail to it. I gave myself 2 blocks of room. I'm going to run out of, yep, I ran out of cobble again. Eat the bread. It's delicious. I love it. Okay. Alright, so before I even worry about what the roof is going to be like, I want to transition this piece up to that level, which means I'm going to need some half blocks, and I'm going to need lots more of the cobble. I have some cobble, a good amount right now. So I'm going to turn 6 of it into some slabs. Slabaza. Gonna need to move that chest pretty soon so that it stops being in my way. Parkour skills always help when doing construction. Okay. So, gonna place these here. just one of them rather. Stairs are very much important in building. Now, you might not think that if you've never used them for this before, but you can use stairs to create a half block and half whole block, which can be used to transition between them, or just to accent things all by itself. So now I'm going to use whole blocks. Now we've got a pretty nice little transition. It's kind of like a staircase going on, which might end up being a staircase. We might put a door somewhere over here that might lead to the roof, and this might end up being like a balcony, something like that. But we're not going to complete this entire house in this video, just the expansion part, because the concepts were covered in the last video for what you do to do the basics of the interior and what materials to choose. And I grant that this is probably a lot of cobble, and I will probably be adding more materials, as I said, with the logs, and I'll have to add more wood in here. I'm going to need more transitions, so we're going to put half blocks here. And here, we're going to put the whole blocks. Now, if we back up, you can see that it kind of looks like a slight transition, all in half block steps, and you can walk all of it like it is a staircase. Need more cobble. I'm the cobble monster. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Nom. Delicious cobbles. Alright, so now I've made corners here, and I'm going to need half blocks along one more piece. Like whole block here, half block, or decisions. I'm going to use, I have some stairs still. I'm going to use stairs in the traditional way for once. So I'm going to need some more of them. I'm thinking that what I'll do for the roof is make a large portion of it glass. Have a sunroof deal going on. Alright. Whole blocks. Alright. So now the roof transitions all the way up to that level, like I said, and then we have an area to complete the roof in. And what we're going to use for that is going to be glass. Piss off, zombie. Nobody loves you. Nobody loves you. Alright. Cobble, cobble, sand. Put sand in furnace. I think it's about time we move this chest. Break the chest. Alright, now I just need to get the chest itself so I can place it down. Derp, 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 derp. Oh, that was it. Elsewhere. Be right back after these messages. Will Yushatak have enough glass to finish the roof? Find out. This time. I am starting to think that perhaps I will split this Yeah. Alright, the staircase is going to have to go. This side is more open than that side, so I'm thinking we will remove this side. Lullaby. Okay. Now what I'm thinking is we will put some wood here as a contrast material, and to partition the windows off from this little middle piece, which we will make out of the cobbles. Yes, more cobbles. More cobbles! Right. So... I'm thinking we'll put some glass there too. Yeah. Now we need more stairs, because I said so. I'm going to border this with stairs because it will look badass. Stairs are fantastic to use for bordering roads and walkways, and in this particular case is a very small walkway. If you use half stones, half blocks for the ends, looks pretty good. It's like a nice partitioning. Even if I were to do nothing walkway over here, that still looks good. And this is pretty minimal contrast materials in this design. I actually should and will be replacing some of this cobble because it just will not cut it with this much cobble in one thing. I think we'll do this sort of thing. It is actually good to have some of the roof hang into the building because it adds, it adds yet more contrast, the type of contrast I mentioned last time as depth contrast. As you can see, it's like different colors and lightings and whatnot, and it just looks different. So, logs. Yup. Loggers is we have a conundrum. Symmetry. But if I did logs here, alright. Solution. We will... That doesn't work. Well, I'm gonna just have to bite the bullet and accept higher costs of logs. That looks okay. It has symmetry on 2 bits. Skips up there, but that still works. That's a little bit of a artistic risk, but I think it will be fine. And I actually think that the top one should stay cobble. Alright. There, it's a hell of a lot less cobbly now. To the roof. Boing, boing, boing. Okay, so while I was staring at this, I decided that this should all be glass, this middle piece. And these should be some sort of wood. I'm thinking wooden half blocks to cap them. Yeah, I'm liking that. In fact, we're gonna do some weird shit here. Concept I came up with a long time ago. I think when wooden half blocks first came out, which was like beta 1.2 or some such. I don't know exactly. I put glass with wooden half slabs to border it because it created this nice little sideways glass half thingy look. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue that look around the sides where applicable, and gonna use whole wood things where it is not applicable. There is an error. Alright, the problem is here. Yes. Yeah, something's not quite right. And I know what it is. Actually, we should have kept that there. Meep. Because that completes the line here. Alright, we're going to complete that. And then we're going to border this the good old-fashioned way. And then cut that in half there. Yeah, that looks good. So let's mirror our changes on this side. Don't forget to eat food while you construct your house. Alright, now let's, wish I could clear those out, but I cannot because I'd need to break the blocks and put them back, and it'd all be a big pain in the ass. Alright, so here we intend to have some way to get out here. And from here on it will be part of the mountain. I might put a wall here, but I am done for now, I think. Oh yes, we're going to need some lights. Put them down here. Yep, that looks good. There will be a video at some point covering lighting, where to place lights to make it look good, and so on. That time is not now. And here we have the finished product, at least for now. One more thing. One more thing. If anyone gets that reference, win. Should replace something over here with... See, we've got logs topped with wood, and then log topped with stone. And that's a bit different. Not necessarily a bad thing, but also not necessarily correct. But I think I know the solution. I know. Wood stairs. Wooden stairs. We need another tree. Tree, 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 tree. I love you, tree. I hate you, tree. We loves it. We loves the tree. We hates the tree. We loves it. We loves the tree. I scare myself sometimes. Okay. Styles. Might put some sort of porch thing there later. Perhaps with fence posts. And we need to change those, I think. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And I could border these as wood. Should I? Should I? No, but I do think that we'll change these two. Now, I've got 2 crafting tables. Okay. The last blocks are ready to be placed. Commence placement. Yes. Interior symmetry. Success. Have to figure something out for there. But again, this video is about the exterior expansion. Ah, fail, fail. Strongly considering putting a full block there, but I've not decided. Okay, that looks hooked in. That's the fact that it doesn't continue the wood here, but it does here, makes it look like it's plugged in. I don't really know any other way to put that. The slanting here is very nice. Might be a little bit more tweaking done to the roof, but not now. So let's look at it from afar, shall we? Observe the house. It needs a little bit of detailing done. Perhaps I'll put some mossy or something towards the bottom. But that is something we will go over in the detailing video that I have not made yet. Maybe that will be next time. Alright, so that is that. Leave a comment if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions or requests for what the next video will cover. I hope you guys learned something. This is Yushatak signing out.